Good afternoon and welcome to Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa, the home of the girls' state basketball tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau alongside the Hall of Famer Ellie Ruffridge. I'm Andy Pollack, and in just a moment we'll have a matchup between Council Bluffs, St. Albert, the Saints, and Dunkerton Raiders. Good afternoon, everybody. Like I said, Andy Pollack, Ellie Ruffridge, and Ellie, today's going to be a pretty big deal to figure out who can handle adversity as we're dealing with a pretty major blizzard right now in Iowa.
Yes, we are, and I've been impressed with the amount of people that have came to support their teams. There's weather all over the state of Iowa, and again, we're dealing with some adverse situations here, but we have refs, we have the teams here, and we have an orange ball, so we're going to play some basketball.
We haven't had the dance teams that we normally have. They've got creative with some of the halftime entertainment, but we saw some really nice crowds from Central Lyon and Hinton in the last game in Class 2A. But now we move to Class 1A, the number 1 seed, St. Albert Saints, and let's take a look at how both these teams got here. First of all, Dunkerton, the Raiders, they defeated Key for their first state of tournament appearance since 2008, and they like to get up and down the floor. They're going to pressure the Saints quite a bit. They're scoring 53.5 points per game, and they get a lot of steals, 18 steals per game, really an incredible type number. We're going to take a look a lot today at Kylie Pexa, 15.3 points per game. Haley Kipp, 11.7 points per game and 6.7 rebounds. She also blocks a lot of shots. The Region 1 champion, St. Albert Saints, they beat Riverside to get here. They average 60 points a game, and they shoot the ball at a pretty nice clip. They also will get up and down the court. Ava Underwood and Maura Ryan are going to be a couple of the players that we see throughout the course of the day. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll dive deeper into today's game with our Seeds for Success, presented by Channel Seeds. Plus, we'll have your starting lineups as we get set for tip-off. You're watching the 2025 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Welcome back to Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa, getting ready for Council Bluffs St. Albert. The Saints, the 1 seed here in Class 1A, they'll be taking on Dunkerton Raiders, the 8 seed, and Ellie Ruffridge. Let's take a look today at some of our Seeds for Success, brought to you by Channel Seeds.
For St. Albert, success comes in waves, and that's kind of been their mantra all year. Waves are persistent, they're rugged, they're powerful, and they also have a very, very deep bench, so they're going to utilize that today in this game, as well as Dunkerton. They are wanting to win the 50-50 balls, and that's just all about the effort, the heart that you put into this game. You're diving on the floor, you're doing whatever it takes to go get that.
Well, and then you mentioned before, these are two teams that are going to try to push the tempo and get up and down the floor, and we'll try to keep up as well and let everybody know what's going on. We'll take our final break here before tip-off, and when we come back, we'll have your team introductions, starting lineups for this tournament matchup. You're watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, a fifth-generation farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau.
And I'm Erin Gerlich, executive director of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. We're excited to have you join us for the Girls State Basketball Tournament.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to be the title sponsor of this amazing event. Iowa's farmers work endlessly to grow and raise nutritious food and sustain our local communities. Similarly, Iowa's student athletes dedicate countless hours to train and excel in their sport. Partnering with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union allows us to celebrate farmers and student athletes while supporting and empowering the Iowa girl.
Reaching the state tournament is a tremendous achievement, and it requires strong support. Thanks to the Iowa Farm Bureau, we can celebrate and honor students for their accomplishments on the basketball court and in the classroom. The Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to your success, assisting our organization in providing awards, grants and scholarships, as well as concussion insurance and these wonderful championship hats. These contributions not only protect student athletes' health, but also highlight outstanding performance in both athletics and academics.
As Iowans, we have so much to be proud of, and every single one of us plays a role in making our state great. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau
and the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union,
congratulations on an outstanding season and best of luck in the tournament.
Welcome back to a blustery Wells Fargo Arena here in Des Moines, Iowa. It's time for Council Bluffs, St. Albert, and Dunkerton, and now it's time to head to our public address announcer for the starting lineups.
Fans, welcome to today's 2025 Girls State Basketball Quarterfinal matchup featuring the Dunkerton Raiders and the Council Bluffs St. Albert Saints. Fans, tradition is an important part of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union's storied history. Because our past is an integral part of what we do today, we ask that everyone in attendance please join in a round of applause to show our appreciation to all the women who have participated in high school athletics in Iowa. Once an Iowa girl, always an Iowa girl. Fans, at this time, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and the Iowa Farm Bureau would like to recognize the outstanding sportsmanship shown by Dunkerton High School and Council Bluffs St. Albert High School. In recognition of the importance of good sportsmanship, each state qualifying school was asked to nominate a spectator who represents their school and community in a sportsmanlike manner. Madison Melchert with the IGHSAU will present each nominee with a certificate of recognition and a $250 check payable to their school's scholarship fund. Please join us in honoring these individuals whose decorum and respect for others serves as a model for all spectators attending interscholastic events. From Dunkerton High School, Ken Steffen. And from Council Bluffs St. Albert High School, Kelly Crone.
Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union wants to thank you for attending this conference and for your support on school-based activities.
By attending this event, you have the responsibility to represent your school and community in a positive manner.
So let's show respect to the athletes, coaches, officials, and our fellow fans.
Thank you for your attendance and enjoy the game.
And enjoy the game!
And enjoy the game. Hey, don't forget to enjoy the game.
The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union promotes good sportsmanship by participants, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants, officials, and spectators in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or abusive comments, or intimidating actions directed at officials, participants, coaches, team representatives, or event personnel will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We thank you for your cooperation and invite you to enjoy the game. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce the players in this afternoon's matchup. First, the non-starters and assistant coaches for the Dunkerton Raiders. Number 10, Elsie McIntosh. Number 11, Alex Shaner. Number 20, Ella Fueling. Number 22, Delaney Toneth. Number 30, Taylor Kipp. And number 32, Reese Tissue. The assistant coaches are Brittany Turpin, Brian Brungard, and John Rothy. Now let's meet the non-starters and assistant coaches for the Saints. Number 4, Eleanor Coughlin. Number 10, Kirsten Piskorski. Number 12, Alexa Lenz. Number 14, Lexi Pierce. Number 30, Eva Jones. Number 32, Jocelyn Boswell. And number 44, Lexi Darrington. The assistant coaches are T. Gary White, J.C. Stratton Bowman, and Dwayne Dale. And now let's introduce the starters for both teams in alternating fashion. For Dunkerton, a 5'8" sophomore guard, number 2, Abby Waskow. For the Saints, a 5'6" senior guard, number 2, Ellie Monahan. For the Raiders, a 5'8" sophomore guard, number 3, Kylie Pexa. And for the Saints, a 5'5" sophomore guard, number 20, Maura Ryan. For the Raiders, a 5'4" sophomore guard, number 5, Ava Fueling. And for the Saints, a 5'11" junior forward, number 22, Molly Wise. For the Raiders, a 5'6" junior guard, number 12, Daisy Fetkether. And for the Saints, a 5'8" senior guard, number 34, Peyton Johnson. For the Raiders, a 6' junior forward, number 33, Haley Kipp. And for the Saints, a 6' junior forward, number 40, Ava Underwood. Head coach for the Raiders is Brad Turpin, and the head coach for the Saints, Dick Wettengel. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the area in front of the scorer's table for the introduction of our officials for this afternoon's game. Jeff Soper, Justin Myers, Antonius Lunsford, and your bench official, Dylan Riley. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for state tournament basketball.
And before we begin today's game, we'd like to once again thank the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, for their support. The Iowa Farm Bureau has an office located in each county across Iowa, and we'd like to thank the offices in the towns of Council Bluffs and Dunkerton here today for their support of these two teams playing. Thank you, Iowa Farm Bureau, for supporting the IGHSAU and the Iowa Girl. And speaking of the Iowa Girl, I've got one right here next to me, Ellie Ruffridge, who will be inducted into the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Basketball Hall of Fame on a Saturday night. And who knows, Ellie, we might be looking at some future Hall of Famers here as well. Remember calling your games back in the day, we didn't think there was much doubt that you'd be a future Hall of Famer, but here we are. I don't even know how many years has that been now. It feels like it's been just yesterday, but here you are beside me tonight.
Well, I'm not very good at math, so you do the math for me. I graduated in 2017.
2017, all right. We were calling games from way up there back in the day, so get things started here, Council Bluffs. The Saints control things right away, and nice job down low as they find Ava Underwood. She can't get it to fall. Dunkerton, Haley Kipp comes away with the rebound. The length right now of these two teams, a couple long players out there on the floor, but you know as well as anybody that doesn't always tell the whole story.
No, it doesn't.
Dunkerton, a young team, as losing the ball on the dribble is Kylie Pexa. Dunkerton has one senior in their entire lineup, Reese Tissue, and she is on the bench to start, but one of those players that will likely see time throughout the course of the day as they get the ball in for the Saints there to Maura Ryan. She'll set things up. Coach Dick Wettengel for Council Bluffs St. Albert's been around for 14 years coaching the girls team, but talking to him beforehand, he's very big on culture with his team, and we can tell that just in some of the notes that he's got. He's built quite the culture over here, the number one team in Class 1A, and there's a charge on Ava Underwood.
Dunkerton right there just manning up, playing good man-to-man defense, and that worked out in their favor right there.
Saw getting herself set down low there was Daisy Fetkether Jr., one of the older players here on Dunkerton's team, as against the press. We're going to see both these teams press quite a bit, and it pays off there for the Saints as the turnover gives the ball back to them. It's always interesting to see how teams handle this, because a lot of times you're going, when you get down here to state, you're going against better ball handlers than what you've seen at a lot of points throughout the year.
Absolutely. But again, in quarterfinal games, I think the key word is composure, especially in these first couple of minutes. It's just settling in, taking care of the basketball, and just being patient on offense.
You can tell here early on it's been a concerted effort to get the ball down low to Ava Underwood, and their Dunkerton in transition. Fueling not quite able to get that to fall, but they've really been targeting Underwood early on.
And the score is still 0-0, and both teams have had opportunities to get to the rim and score layups.
Well, there's art. We've seen a lot of players get to the rim, but not always easy to finish there. And there's a three-point shot for Molly Wise that breaks the scoreless drought. And another turnover. Wise gets it back. Out on the corner, three-point shot on the way for Peyton Johnson is good.
The Saints doing a really good job with ball movement right there, getting into the lane and kicking it out for an easy three.
Dunkerton having troubles against this pressure here early on and gets across with 1 second to spare. A lot of times the officials will keep an eye on that shot clock to know when that 10 seconds is up. Pexa. Fetkether now takes it in, and she may not want to take it against the taller Saints there. Long shot there on the way for Kip. She can't get it to fall, and St. Albert with the basketball once again, not wasting any time. Ryan. It'll be tough for Dunkerton to match up with all the height down low, but there's a three-point shot. That's way off. Might have been blocked a little bit. Nope.
I think it was.
Quickly pushing it ahead again. Dunkerton on the run. This is Waskow.
Right here, the Saints matching up. But again, with that size, they're able to block that shot.
You know, it wasn't too many years ago that we just watched over and over again at the state tournament, especially in some of the smaller classes. Zone defenses ruled the roost, and many more teams right now playing man-to-man. What can you attribute that to?
Yeah, I just think, again, it's all about matchups, who you're playing, and I think right here both teams, they like to get up and go, fast break transitions, things like that. So I think both teams are right here in a good situation with just manning up, but offensively it's just going to be key to be patient and run your sets because you can't change anything.
Couple IMT insurance substitutions. Be worry-free with IMT. We'll get to those in a second as ball stolen out of there by Kip. Dunkerton looking to run once again, and we know they're at their best when they're in transition. That's what Coach Turpin wants to see out of his Raiders. Nice entry pass there, but stolen away. That's one of the new players into the game, Lexi Darrington. Both these teams quite young. Another three-point shot on the way. This time no good, but following her own shot is Ryan. Nice soft touch, some English off the glass there for Maura Ryan. Quick start here for the Saints. You just get the feeling that the Saints really are enjoying this tempo right now. And you know Dunkerton wants to play at it, but the Saints just a little bit better at it at the moment.
Yeah, in these first couple of minutes here in this game, I feel like every player in a white uniform is just a ball hawk. They're all over it, chasing it down, wanting to go get it, especially number 40, Underwood. That's why she leads this team in rebounds.
Fueling's three-pointer was in and out. Underwood goes up, can't quite get it to fall, but again, the rebound. Another opportunity at the board. It's Underwood again. She puts it in, and there's going to be a timeout called for by Brad Turpin. He wants a 30-second timeout to discuss things right now, and he can't envision a much better start than what St. Albert has got for themselves right now.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better start right there. 10-0 right now. Maybe Dunkerton is going to change up their defense and maybe go zone.
you almost have to figure out a way. Well, you want to say go zone, but then you've also watched St. Albert hit a couple three-pointers here early on, so pick your poison right now with the Saints. And that's the reason they're ranked number one. It's a team that they rely on the scoring of Maura Ryan and Ava Underwood, but several other players have contributed at key times throughout the course of this season, and they will go, you mentioned the pregame, they will go 6 deep on their bench, and what a luxury to just be able to come at you in waves. As we come quickly out of the timeout, Dunkerton didn't waste any timeouts, or didn't waste any time coming out of the timeout, as they're just going to, must have had a code word to calm everybody down and get set with things. But it's so hard. It's a different shooting background here to get used to. You had a lot of opportunities to shoot down here, but you're just kind of getting used to things. And so far, the Saints have forced Dunkerton to play a lot of their game in the half court and not get buckets in transition. They get back very quickly again on defense. They're able to pressure you and then get back, and that's exactly what you want. Three-point shot from the corner, way short there from Reese Tissue, and that's going to go out of bounds back to the Saints. Just over 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Andy Pollock, Ellie Ruffridge here with you here in our first Class 1A game of the 2025 State Girls Basketball Tournament. Wascow checks back into the game with another IMT insurance substitution. And it gives Dunkerton a chance to set up their pressure, and they get a quick steal off it. And that's one thing they have not been able to do yet. No made baskets, so they haven't been able to set up their pressure. And that's what leads to most of their points.
Yeah, and Kylie Pexer right there with the steal. She's long, she's athletic, and she's their energizer. So once she gets going, maybe that will bring a little bit of spark to this Dunkerton offense.
Pexa averages just under 16 points a game. Oh, nice roll off the inbounds there. Love the use of her body there for Daisy Fetkether for 2. There, Dunkerton able to get a little more comfortable with what they're doing defensively. Out on the corner, long three-point shot, no good. Paying off right now for the Raiders, and then a foul whistle in transition there on Darrington.
Darrington just got her with a little body right there, a little hip check.
And so far, St. Albert in this first quarter whistled for 3 team fouls. Of course, the rules changed a couple of years ago, and so the team fouls are reset, following the college model, reset each quarter. Man, Saints just constantly deflecting balls right now. Really tough for Dunkerton to get in an offensive rhythm. High post look there to Kip.
Saints constantly moving, and again, having that deep bench. If one girl gets tired, one in, one out. You know, it's just like a revolving door. They're constantly substituting different girls in and out.
Saints on the run there. That's Coughlin, and looks like we're going to have a foul whistled on Abby Wascow for Dunkerton. And another IMT insurance substitution checking in for the Saints now is Kirsten Piskorski. So by my count, I think that's the 10th different player now to get into the game already in the first less than 6 minutes for Coach Dick Wettengill. Quick off the inbounds, ball is lost, and it is going to go off of Reese Tissue out of bounds. And we'll stay with the Saints. Little switch there on the inbounds, driving into the lane, the little floater up off the glass, and nice touch and the friendly roll for Lexi Pierce.
That was nice, little floater. Using the backboard for that. Sometimes players, when they go in to shoot a floater, they can't decide if they're going to swish it or bank it. I always like banking it. You got to choose one or the other.
Buys you a little more margin for error, but it's also one of those where it's, you got to draw the line because you're coming in hard and you're coming in strong, and then you got to be nice and soft off the glass. And that was earlier on. Man, we had a freshman guard from Iowa City of Regina that was so good about that. Dunkerton, trouble against the pressure. Gets it across finally to Kip. Raiders now on the run, up off the glass, no good, and the Saints come away with a rebound and throw the ball away.
And that's what Dunkerton needs to do. They have Haley Kip right there in the middle. They got to look to keep finding the ball and putting it in the middle to break that full court press.
you just get the sense that Dunkerton does not want to be playing this game in the half court right now. They would like to get out and get some opportunities in transition. They just have not been able to do it against St. Albert yet, and there's going to be a travel whistled on Kylie Pexa. But again, an opportunity for Dunkerton to set up their pressure. Trailing by 10 here early on, but the game is quite young. And timeout over there. You can just hear it echo. One of the things, this blizzard has kept the gym a little more empty than normal, so it's allowed us to hear some more of the coaching points that have taken place today. And you could hear Coach Wettengel's voice echo across the arena right there as, that was Pierce hitting the deck, and he calls right away, timeout, timeout. Been able to do that a couple times this year. When you're down here, and you're a coach now, Ellie, but when you're down here at this tournament, are you paying attention to coaching styles? Is that still molding how you want to coach your kids?
You know, being an assistant, I love the role that I have, and I love creating the relationships and, just like giving them some advice for when I was a player. Usually my head coach takes care of the X's and O's and all that strategic thinking, but I do like to give out my pointers. And I've had several coaches in my playing career, and everyone has their own different style. And again, I think that's what makes the game of basketball so unique, is everyone has their own thing and what works for them. And as you can see with Council Bluffs, whatever they're doing over there, it's working for them.
You're more of the good cop, though, when it comes to the coaching styles?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I like to get after it sometimes, but yeah, the girls know if they need anything, I'm always there for them.
Numbers in transition, but pulling the ball out there is Piskorski, and St. Albert will go to work in the half court. Coughlin kicks it out. The high arcing three-point shot from Piskorski in the corner is no good. Tracks down the rebound, though.
And again, those are those 50-50 balls that we mentioned that Dunkerton has to have to get those possessions. And again, another second chance opportunity right here for the Saints.
Coughlin drives in. She goes up and didn't use the glass that time and still got it to fall. Back in transition, Dunkerton trying to push the ball ahead, but man, the Saints get back so quick. They're fast, they're athletic. Stuck with the ball down low there was Fetkether, kicks it out to Pexa. Again, Dunkerton going to have to figure out a way to score some points in the half court or change the game around and get things moving in transition. Three-point shot on the way there is short, and the rebound once again comes down to Council Bluffs St. Albert. That is, see, that's Lentz, Alexa Lentz with another rebound.
And that possession right there by Dunkerton, I really liked that for them. They moved the ball really well. They got a great look, just wasn't able to knock it down. They got to continue passing, moving it quick as this time runs out. Got it.
At the horn, Kip puts it in. Gets it back within 10 at the end of the first quarter. Council Bluffs St. Albert 14, Dunkerton 4. See the instant replay here as Kip, that little spin move, and puts it up and through. We'll be back with the second quarter here on the IGHSAU Digital Network.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
It's Frank. Frank. Mr. Frank. I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
In your neighborhood, there's a place so good. It's so nice to be part of store meant for me. The feeling of family, you have to agree.
Wow, thanks, Fairway Frank.
Welcome to Fairway, your Fairway family.
Dunkerton in the red uniforms will be shooting at the left side of the screen as they get set to go here in the second quarter. Trying to dig into this Council Bluffs St. Albert lead. Andy Pollock, Ellie Ruffridge with you here this afternoon on a blizzardy. That's the word I'm looking for. Blizzardy, I think that's a word. If it's not, we're going to make it one. blizzardy day in central Iowa, all over Iowa actually, as Dunkerton driving through, and that's going to be taken away.
I'm not an English teacher, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if you were right or wrong.
I think I'll just go with it right now. Monahan hands off up top here, Molly Wise, and again they go back to the beginning trying to get it down low to Underwood. Underwood hangs in the air for a while, but can't get it to fall. Kip with another rebound for Dunkerton. Fueling. Kip for three. Ooh, in and out there for Kip, and she hasn't shot a ton of those this year, but very close on that one.
Yeah, she's very versatile. She can play inside, she can play out. Her coach describes her as an all-out leader. She's an enforcer.
When you're on a team that has just one senior like Dunkerton does, that's one of the issues. It's always fun to look at the future, but when you're as talented as they are right now, you're trying to figure out how to get some leadership out of those younger players as well, and there's a heck of a move by Underwood to power up through the contact, and she'll have a chance to convert the three-point play as they got Kip for the foul.
Yeah, and Underwood, we talk about her being a stellar rebounder, but she's also their leading scorer with about 14 points a game, so getting to the free throw line right here I think will spark her on the offensive end.
Talked about some of the length of some of these players out on the floor, and Underwood is one of those. As she walks out on the floor, she just looks athletic by the way that she carries herself. And leaves that short as Fetkether comes away with a rebound. They'd like to get her involved more in the offense here this afternoon. There we go in transition. Dunkerton had a chance, but Tissue couldn't quite hang on to the basketball, and they do say it goes out of bounds off the Saints, so Dunkerton will hang on to the ball.
Maybe just got a little ahead of herself. Saw a layup right there and just couldn't hang on to it.
Long pass in on the inbounds. Good ball movement there. They get it to Kip. She draws a triple team, then kicks it out. Three-point shot for Fueling.
Good inside-outside play right there. She saw three people on her, kicked it out to a shooter.
And now Dunkerton becoming a little more comfortable in the pressure. It all started with a triple team on Kip. Created some opportunities for everybody else. They got to get the ball to her, but boy, you can see just how cognizant everybody is for St. Albert of where she is on the floor, and then driving through again, shot altered. I think Underwood got a piece of it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Three-point shot on the way, no good for Fueling. And boy, they just pressure you everywhere you've got the ball. Now the Saints on the run. Down low, Monahan, and she's going to have a chance to shoot a couple free throws, and this could be rough if that foul's on Kip. And it is. So Kip just picked up her second foul. Well, okay, I had one for her earlier, but apparently not. So they say that is just the first foul on Kip, so not as bad as I thought, because Kip is someone that even though right now just 2 points for Dunkerton, everything's predicated around her having the basketball on the offensive end.
But even having her size, both on the defensive end and offensive end, is crucial. She has to stay in this game.
So Monahan steps up there at the free throw line. And gets a couple. 11-point lead right now for St. Albert in a game that's moved along. Not much time to catch our breath. Now Dunkerton on the run in transition. Thinking it might be better just to keep attacking in that situation.
Yeah, and with Kylie Pexa checking back in, try to get her going offensively. I mean, she's their leading scorer with 15, but
yeah, Fueling hits that three, and then their Pexa gets dinged for the foul and the pressure. And Pexa just picked up her first. So no one in any huge danger right now. They got 4 players with 1 for Dunkerton. And the same amount with 1 for St. Albert. Off the inbounds. You have to do a double take and actually going out of bounds. Good defense over there without having to push her. Ryan stepped out of bounds, and I think that was Fueling that just put pressure on her and did a good job without actually creating a lot of contact, forcing her out of bounds. Pexa, who's been quiet on the offensive end. Down low they go. Kip once again. Kip drawing a lot of attention and has it taken away from her. I think we're going to get a jump ball, and that will move the ball on the alternating possession back over to Council Bluffs St. Albert.
And again, we talk about their pressure defense from the Saints. Whenever a post player is going to put that ball on the floor, if you're a guard player, I mean, you're going to swarm after that ball, and that's exactly what the Saints did right there.
You can tell the plan is to get the ball to the middle of the court against this pressure all the way down. St. Albert, three-point shot on the way there for Johnson is good. You almost have to do a double take when these teams take it out of bounds with the 94 feet to go, because it looks like it's an inbounds play almost underneath their own basket because it draws everybody there. Trapped up top, they get it away to Kip. A nice job by Kip to find Pexa. She couldn't hang on to it. Pexa was open. Ten seconds on the shot clock. Dunkerton finally gets the ball inside just a three-point line. And on the rebound coming out of it, there's Monahan. Monahan, 1-on-4, decides to kick it out. Down low, there's Underwood up with a left-hand shot in calling on some of the 6-on-6 greats of the past. Underwood looked like an old 6-on-6 move, the step under. Now Dunkerton on the run. Pexa has it knocked away from her by Monahan. Did you ever watch any 6-on-6? You ever pay attention to see any of that? You probably didn't see much of it growing up, did you?
A little bit. I'd watch some like flashbacks or like highlights of it. I've never watched an entire game of it, but
certainly different.
Yes.
Of course, just the two dribbles that were allowed. Iowa, the last state to do away with 6-on-6. It was at about 93, 94, somewhere around there.
I remember growing up, too. Some of my coaches growing up, like when I was a kid, we would do some drills that were very similar to like 6-on-6, just like practicing dribbling and guarding, things like that.
There was a lot of coaches that had to make that adjustment as well.
Yes.
That had been coaching the 6-on-6, and then they had to move on to learning how to coach 5-on-5, and some of the longtime greats that kind of led them to an earlier retirement than they were ready for, but ultimately better for the women's game, the girls' game, and led to a lot of players then being able to get recruited better for college. Dunkerton on the move once again. Pexa, long three-point shot, no good there. Rebound cleared out of there by Ryan. Ryan on the run all the way to the glass, up off of it, in. More Ryan just got that look in her eyes. She's got that dog in her is what the kids say. And St. Albert has opened up a 25-10 lead. We'll take a break after the replay here. Look at that. She's got the look in her eye, the eye of a tiger, as Ryan puts it up and in. Council Bluffs St. Albert, 15-point lead back after this on the IGHSAU Digital Network.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Across Iowa, hundreds of neighborhood banks are providing jobs, supporting businesses, and strengthening our communities. Here, success is built by you, and the life you build is backed by Iowa Banks. See what we mean at iowabankers.com. Good look at a few of the fans that made it here today, enjoying some of the great popcorn, some popcorn that led to the clearing of the arena on Monday night when they had a little malfunction in one of the fans in one of the concession stands. So had a 45-minute delay.
Yeah, I got to experience that.
You were here for that?
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, you're listening, and I coach basketball at Spirit Lake, and our game was Monday night against Dubuque Waller. And before our game, actually it was the halftime of the
game before, yes.
Esterville Cherokee game. About 5 minutes into halftime, the fire alarms are going off, and everyone's back there like, is this for real? Everybody had to evacuate Wells Fargo Arena, and like Spirit Lake, our girls were getting their ankles taped like socks on. They're literally out there in their jerseys, no shoes on. And it's like, really, girls? You couldn't have even took your shoes out? But, I mean, yeah, everybody had to evacuate, and that was definitely a first.
So we got Spirit Lake after dark, had a late night of games there, had a late night of games yesterday because there were so many close ones that went through. Today so far, though, we are on schedule throughout, which is good for everybody because doesn't matter, we start at the same time the next morning anyway, so we got to get back here ready to go. Dunkerton here in the half court, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Pexa. Yep, nice job controlling her body, but can't quite finish. Rebound, though, comes down to Fetkether, and Dunkerton gets a fresh 35. There's a good look out up top for Fueling. She can't get it to fall, and rebound hauled down by Underwood.
Dunkerton getting some good looks. They're pounding it inside, and if they don't have a look, they're crashing the boards hard, and then they also have some looks from threes, just not able to knock them down.
Little set play there, trying to set it around to Pierce. Down to 15 on the shot clock. Underwood going to take it herself, and a little too far out to go up and under. And a scrum there, and that's going to be a jump ball and send the ball back to the Raiders. Oh boy, I see a couple of the IGHSAU staffers coming out with basketballs, and it's getting close to halftime. So the dance teams today have not been able to get down here for the most part from wherever they're coming from. So they've got creative at halftime, including a couple of shooting competitions. So we'll see, as well as our Jethro's wing eating competition. So we'll see what they come up with here for halftime of this 1A game.
Yeah, I'll be curious. Last game at the halftime, they had Cherokee and Central Lyon, both teams doing a little shooting contest against each other, and it was entertaining.
It was entertaining,
you know?
Yeah. Dunkerton will set things up again here. The Saints have stayed things pretty true on the offense or on the defensive end, and why would they shift? They've only given up 10 points so far in this one. That three-point shot, though, is good by Ava Fueling.
Ava Fueling only averages 7 points a game, and she's hit 3 threes today, putting her at 9 points.
And I didn't know if that was going to be off the back part of the backboard and out of bounds, but actually I think they did call a foul on Fueling. It is just her second here with 90 seconds to go in the first half. Nice job handling things is Coughlin, but then she throws it away as I say that, as she tries to get it to Piskorski. And Ellie, we've talked about the depth of St. Albert. I know that can be a hugely positive thing, but also sometimes when you've got that depth, it does make it difficult for some of the players to get in a rhythm.
Absolutely. I mean, for me being a competitor, I wanted to be on the floor the entire game, and I know probably St. Albert's has several athletes over there that's just like, oh, keep me in, but again, this is part of their game plan, and they've stuck to it all season.
And again, they just can't quite handle it. Waskow that time couldn't quite come up with it. Waskow, a sophomore, Pexa, sophomore, Fueling, a sophomore, Fetkether and Kip juniors for Dunkerton. Ooh, on the inbounds, that's broken up and taken down, and hitting the deck hard was Fetkether. Slow to get up, she's up now, and then Coughlin goes in. She can't get it to fall. Kip, another rebound. Kip's been a huge bright spot for Dunkerton so far. Pexa works her way in, the little floater as she shifts to the left hand. Not sure that was the most natural move as she puts it up. Underwood, she gets a look in and draws the double team, and now turnover, and there's about a 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Clock does not stop after a made bucket in Iowa high school basketball, so they could theoretically hold for one. Not anymore, as a foul was whistled on Lentz, I believe.
Pexa still scoreless here in this first half as she's getting taken out of the game. And sometimes when you're, not having the best shooting performance of your night, you just got to find other ways to make impacts on the floor. She was trying to get to the basket, and I was always told if I can't get shots up, I got to find my way to the free throw line, and I think that's what Pexa was trying to do right there.
They do get the ball turned over, and it will come back to St. Albert, who now, with a 12-point lead, will likely try to hold for one. Underwood Backs her way in. Back out here to Coughlin. The little floater in the lane finds every bit of the hoop and falls in and gives St. Albert the 14-point lead as we'll look for the replay here on Eleanor Coughlin. I think we've got a replay coming. Usually we have a replay coming. There it is.
Just stay patient, Andy.
Right through. There we go. When I want my replay, I want it now. St. Albert leads 27-13. We'll be back with a halftime show after this on the IGHSAU Digital Network.
We have 2 teams from St. Albert. We have Owen Marshall.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Different people have different needs, so Delta Dental of Iowa has affordable dental and vision coverage that meets you where you are. Small business on a budget? We have options with no employer costs. Traditional Medicare plans don't cover dental, but we do. And if you can't get benefits at work, you can buy direct from us. Plus, we give back to local communities, so you help make an impact. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, for your community.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision, to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
There you see a look at Dunkerton and Council Bluffs on reach for the past traditions here at the state tournament. The big board that had all the counties lit up on it. And if you want to make some memories at this year's state tournament, merchandise is now available online. Get your smartphones out. Give you a chance to get those out right now, and you can scan the QR code that will be on your screen here in a second. We'll get that QR code up in a second, or visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match your style. So they've got some great stuff, and we'll eventually get that up there. Not a big deal. We'll get it out there at some point, but yeah, you have a chance. Again, visit IGHSAU.org. You can browse and customize the merchandise that you would like to see. We just had the stats given to us. We'll go through them, talk a little bit about what's led to the game being this way so far, with Council Bluffs St. Albert leading Dunkerton 27-13 at halftime here of this Class 1A quarterfinal game on the IGHSAU Digital Network.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/WeCare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
SWIC is a community. Southwestern Community College is a place in rural southwest Iowa where students from across the world come to be a part of a tight-knit family, Spartan Nation, where they study, train, grow, thrive, and are called by name, not by number. At SWIC, we are one.
Welcome back to Wells Fargo Arena, where it is nice and toasty actually down here on the ice. That the court and the rubber has been set up over top of. Usually we are pretty cold down here, but not too bad at all, and probably makes it feel that way because there's a blizzard going on outside, so we're nice and safe here inside. Let's take a look at some of the statistics that have led to St. Albert leading Dunkerton right now 27-13 at halftime, and you notice the field goal percentage decidedly in St. Albert's favor. They've shot a few three-pointers. Three-pointers not a huge deal right now, but also on the rebounding end. Council Bluffs, St. Albert out-rebounding Dunkerton 21-15, and 6 of those have been on the offensive end and have led to some second chance points, which have been big for the Saints. Turnovers, St. Albert handling the Dunkerton press very well right now. Dunkerton has had 9 turnovers of their own, and Ellie, really, though, that doesn't tell the whole story. It's really been the inside presence of players like Ava Underwood for Council Bluffs St. Albert that have led to this big lead.
Yeah, Council Bluffs St. Albert, they got 14 points in the paint. And then also, if you look at Dunkerton with their 9 turnovers, St. Albert's is capitalizing on that, and they have 12 points off those turnovers. So again, it's in transition, it's down low. The Saints are finding all kinds of ways. But then again, if you look at Dunkerton, I've really been impressed with Ava Fueling stepping up, coming up big with 9 points. She's hit 3 threes. And we'll have to see if some other players from Dunkerton can get in a rhythm here offensively here in the second half.
So now calling on Coach Ruffridge, you go into the locker room with a 14-point lead at the break. If you're St. Albert, what are you telling your girls? What sort of adjustments are you making? Because right now, I mean, you've got, I wouldn't call it a safe lead, but it's also one of those leads that as players you can easily kind of fall asleep and think, oh, we've got this game under control, but definitely not insurmountable. Yeah,
I'd keep looking to get it into Haley Kipp in the post. They've had some success when they get it into her for either a post touch and a score or an inside-outside look. But offensively, they need to move the ball quicker, maybe some weave action, look for back doors, just constantly moving because this St. Albert's defense is all over. You feel like when Dunkerton has been able to set up their pressure, even though they're not necessarily getting a lot of turnovers out of it, it has just kind of helped their tempo and it's helped things get moving. They got to get some buckets, though, to be able to set up that pressure more. They do, and Dunkerton has had some opportunities, too, where easy layups and they either fumble the pass or they just can't convert that easy play, and hopefully they can get some chances to do that here coming up in about 3 minutes. Yeah, we will see when we come back out here with the second half. Like you said, about 3 minutes away. Andy Pollack, Ellie Ruffridge here on the IGHSAU Digital Network.
This game is heating up, folks. Frank squares up like a butcher block on defense. Audie with the fadeaway. She's on fire. Literally, that is. The net has been burned to a crisp.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
He's the prime cut passer from behind the meat counter. It's Fairway Frank. And introducing a 6'3" center who's a cut above the rest. Say hello to Audie Crooks.
Welcome back here to Class 1A action. The 1C Council Bluffs St. Albert, the 8C Dunkerton. And Ellie, we've talked a lot during the breaks about the play of the post player Ava Underwood, and 9 rebounds, 4 points, and she's really been able to do everything.
Yeah, I mean, just her presence down low, I mean, makes an impact, you know, with her length, her size, her speed. She's all over the court, whether it's scoring on the defensive end or, you know, just getting rebounds. And she's a really big factor for this Saints team.
9 rebounds has been a big deal. Let's take a look at how you can get some of that merchandise we were talking about earlier. Time to get your smartphones out. There it is. There's a QR code, the one with the dinosaur in the middle, on top of Ellie's name right there. We got the dinosaur. Get that thing scanned. Or visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match your style as the teams head back to their benches. You know, a big credit to the fans today because it has not been easy to get around Central Iowa, or anywhere, I guess, in Iowa for that matter. But we saw a lot of fans from Hinton, Central Lyon earlier today. Several fans from Maquoketa Valley that have made the trip down, and honestly, Dunkerton, Council Bluffs, St. Albert, nice group of fans here as well.
Yep. A lot of teams coming from all over the state, and you know, I'm from Northwest Iowa. There's a lot of Northwest Iowa teams coming this way, so if any of you are planning on traveling down here, be safe, or, you know, just cuddle up and watch the game. Watch the game. Listen to us from the comfort of your home.
I know that's what my family is doing today. No school in the Ankeny School District due to that, and a big pile up on I-35 north of town as well, and heard about some accidents over by Newton. So if you can stay home, certainly do that. I joked earlier, this is the closest I will ever be to being an essential employee, because someone's got to get down here and tell everybody what they're watching here at the state tournament. St. Albert will get the ball here to start the second half. And Maura Ryan and her 4 points will get things set to go.
Dunkerton still man-to-man right now.
Dunkerton's defense has been fine. They just have to figure out a way to get some buckets.
Yes.
Out of the quarter, 3-point shot there for Monahan, no good, and Dunkerton gets a stop again. In transition, Dunkerton pushing the ball ahead, fueling. See what sort of adjustments they make on the offensive end. Again, you see the Saints know where Kip is. She's got a lot of players shadowing her everywhere she goes. She's surrounded right now down low. There's your weave that you were talking about. Ooh, good idea. The execution lacking a little bit. And the Saints come away with a steal. 2-on-1 here for Ryan. All the way in and got a little too deep. But getting the rebound back there is Wise, and then taken away by Fetkether. Excuse me, that's Pexa. Ooh, good luck. Down low, Dunkerton can't get the shot to fall. Down there was Fetkether, but she'll have an opportunity at the free throw line where she shoots 50%.
And if you're Dunkerton right now, this is exactly the way that you wanted to start this second half. They've gotten some pretty good looks offensively right now at the line. But again, you look up at the score, they're still in this game. They just got to find ways to chip away.
And it just feels like just in the first minute or so of the second half that they're playing at a A high tempo, but a relaxed tempo. It doesn't feel like maybe they're pressing as much as pressing, I'm talking about internally, not like a full court pressure, but not pressing to make things happen quite as much as they were in that first half. Saints on the run into the lane. The floater strong, but Underwood keeps it alive and can't hang on to it. And it will go back to Dunkerton. Quick substitution for Dunkerton. Tissue's back in the game. The lone senior on the Dunkerton roster. Ooh, they had a chance to get the ball ahead to Pexa. Draws the trap. Kip does a nice job handling things there. Might have been an opportunity to just take that ball up. 3-point shot on the way. Fueling, she's got the hot hand, can't get it to fall, but Kip keeps it alive. As Tissue thought about the 3-point shot too. Pexa. Ooh, a backdoor cut. Little shades of Princeton back in the day. The backdoor cut with a reverse layup. And it's 27-16. Now Dunkerton sets up their pressure, and they're going to be close to getting a steal, and they do. Fueling gets it. Now Pexa, they had 4 on 3. Not sure they recognized it right away. Down low they go. Kip backing her way in, and she's going to have a chance at the free throw line.
Yeah, I don't think Pexa realized that they had the advantage right there. But again, get it in to get it in. Back to the line.
Kip just muscles her way up through everything, winning the point of contact there, and chance to shoot a couple free throws where Kip is a 73% free throw shooter.
And that's, again, what I said at the break. Dunkerton just needs to move. They need to cut. They need to do backdoors. They need to do, weave actions, whatever. They're constantly moving to make this St. Albert's team work on defense.
Alexa Lenz checks in with an IMT insurance substitution. You too can be worry-free at IMT. Pushing the ball ahead, the Saints once again. Underwood. Underwood on Kip would be a heck of a one-on-one game. I'd love to see that one at some point too. Dunkerton looking to run once again, and just, you almost wonder if they were told to be a little more deliberate right now, because a couple times they've got steals and then they take a peek at everything, kind of scan things. Out here Fueling left open for 3, no good. But Pexa keeps things alive. And look out, Underwood on the break. It's Underwood on Fetkether, goes all the way in up off the glass, and a chance to complete the 3-point play.
Strong finish right there by Underwood, and that's what she does. She finishes strong, getting herself back to the free throw line.
The 6-footer goes coast to coast through the contact, up and in. Good shot on the replay there, brought to you by Musco Lighting. As now Underwood a chance to extend this back out to a 13-point lead. Can't quite do it, but man, the Saints right there picking up the pressure. You see them just play pressure. Look at that defense over there, and just outstanding defense by Alexa Lenz. And so many times use that sideline as another defender, and she just got over there and got her foot right on it. There was just no possible way to get up the edge, and they're going to take a peek at Lentz right now. I think she might have got hit in the mouth.
And we've been saying this all afternoon. The Saints have 2 girls running at them, and then like you said right there, if it's not 3 girls running at them, they use those sidelines as an extra defender. And I think if Dunkerton gets their head up, they might have a breakaway a couple of times.
Well, it was 3-on-1 back here as that 3-point shot no good, and the rebound kept alive there by Coughlin, and then taken away. Fetkether was 1-on-3, decides to get it ahead to Kip, and she can't hang on to it. Taken out of there by Monahan. Motion offense going to be set up here by the Saints. They got a mismatch right now if they want it. They got down low. They had Fueling covering Underwood.
Yeah.
Still do.
I would talk right now, and I'd switch right now.
Yeah, they ended up with Kip up top on Lentz. And then Fueling on Underwood, and just not able to recognize it there was the Saints.
Yeah, when you're playing and you find yourself in a mismatch situation, you got to hang on for as long as you can, and as soon as you get an opportunity to make that switch, you got to use your voice and you have to communicate with your teammate, yell and switch.
Well, you just knew something didn't quite look right when you looked up and saw Kip way out here 20 feet away from the basket. Pexa. Again, trying to get things through Kip. Down low they go. A lot of contact down there. Kip for three. And hits another one. Kip with a couple triples today. And then a steal for Dunkerton. Tissue takes it away. And up with a layup and good. Who's fueling? Timeout. Counts the Bluffs St. Albert. There you see on the replay, taken away. Nice look there for Fueling to put it in. Back to within 7, St. Albert in the lead here on the IGHSAU Digital Network.
At American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Back here in Ellie Ruffridge, we talked about coming into the second half, Dunkerton needing a couple baskets to help set up their pressure, and they got those baskets. They got their pressure. It's led to some more offense for the Raiders.
It has, and I feel like here in the second half, they've really settled in on the defensive side, and they're getting more defensive touches, whether it's tips, and that's leading into turnovers in their favor.
A very young Dunkerton team, cheered on by their fans from up in Northeast Iowa. Just off C57. Chance now a little bit different pressure now, more of a 2-2-1 zone look. Changing things up. Saints get the ball across the timeline. And pressing the tempo. Underwood right there though, and she gets the rebound and puts it right back in. Ava Underwood's been the difference maker for the Saints. As we approach the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Kip kicks it back out for the three-point shot from Fueling, no good. That's Ella Fueling who's in the game now. Ella and Ava Fueling both playing today. And now going to be more of a...
I believe it's Ava's, they're cousins. Ava and Ella.
We've had a lot of sisters throughout the course of the tournament. First time we've been notified of any cousins, so... Down low, the Saints kick it back up top. Three-pointer from the lefty is no good. That's Ryan again, but she gets the rebound on the kick out. Gives it off to Underwood, who can't get it to fall. And on the rebound, I think we're going to have a foul on Dunkerton. And
I think Ella Fueling got hit in the back right there as she came down.
so Ella Fueling will head back to the bench. Into the game with an IMT insurance substitution is Reese Tissue. Who off the inbounds couldn't quite handle it was Ryan. And a travel. Actually, that is going to be a timeout for the Saints. We'll keep it right here. You know, I understand saving the possession. There's just a point that you're not thinking of it necessarily as it happens, but you want to save that possession, but also you're down and out 2 timeouts if you're St. Albert.
Yeah, that is true. And, I mean, we're still only in the third quarter. Those timeouts may be crucial towards the end of the game.
2 minutes and 44 seconds to go here in the third quarter. St. Albert with a lead, 31-22. And the foul situation likely will not come into play here in the third quarter unless things were to get really sloppy. But Dunkerton, who had just 13 points at the end of the first half, has scored 9 here in the third quarter, so has settled in on the offensive end to put up a few more as you get a look at the St. Albert student section.
And again, we didn't talk about this at the break, but St. Albert's held Dunkerton to 13 points. And they lead Class 1A with holding teams to only 37 points a game.
And we've talked about just how disruptive they are. It's so tough to get into an offensive flow against that defense. As that ball nearly tipped away, but now Dunkerton pulls it back down. Trying to get the ball to Pexa to run the offense. Fueling, though, sets things up back over to Tissue. Nice screen off there by Kip, and it leads to a foul on St. Albert. Everything runs through Kip, though. Whether she's got the ball or not, she's a big part of that offense for Coach Brad Turpin.
And I think from our point of view right here, I think that entire possession, they were looking to get the ball inside.
And the free throw is good there for Fetkether. Scores her 6th point of the afternoon. Back down to an 8-point lead. They went away from that. They've gone more to a zone-type pressure right now, and I think that other pressure that they were using, that they put a lot more pressure on the ball, was a little more helpful. See if they get back to that here soon. 3-point shot on the way, no good. Who else but Underwood there for the rebound, and she is fouled on the ground by Pexa. I think what everybody else saw was a block shot by Kip, but I'm pretty sure they got Pexa for the foul earlier on. No, they didn't. They got Kip for the foul. Oh, I see where it was. She had her hand on her back. I see. I saw him say with a push.
Sometimes as a fan, the game happens so fast. It's hard, you want your team to get every call, but I think they made the right call right there.
Not just as a fan, but as an announcer, that game can happen pretty fast
oh my
as
goodness.
well. 4 bodies on the floor, and the ball heads back to Dunkerton. Offensive foul there. They're going to get that on Coughlin. Called an offensive player control foul, which I suppose technically that was. Dunkerton. Pexa, nice look, but again, couldn't quite hang on to it. Down low was Fetkether.
And those are the plays that I'm talking about. They have great looks. It's just being able to finish the play.
And a jump ball there coming in from a distance. And that will go back to St. Albert. Pexa holding on to her left hand a little bit there, gripping it a little bit. As she gets ready to set up the pressure. Now they've got that ball pressure once again. And a steal. Pexa gives it up, and Fueling can't quite get it to fall. And there's going to be a foul then whistled on Fetkether.
I thought Pexa right there should have just went up with it.
But again, you've got that length of St. Albert, and it just kind of, it changes things, changes your perspective on things. And now I'm not sure. Looks like they're going to get Underwood out of the game.
She's got blood on her leg.
They are going to get a substitution in for Underwood. I don't know the rule on that. If she has a certain amount of time to get that blood off her uniform or not, it's not. It must be her that's bleeding.
I think she's just got a cut on her knee.
And it looks like she's about ready to get back in the game. She just realized that she had been checked out. She didn't know it. She was ready to run back on the court and realized that Molly Wise had come in for her. Ryan now. Done a nice job handling things for the Saints today. Lob it over the top, and waiting right there for it was Tissue. It was blocked away, though, by Fueling, who read it. And then the three-point shot on the way, no good. And without Kip in there, I guess Kip is out there, but she's so far away from the basket right now. They just don't have that presence to get the rebounds. Another three-point shot, third time's the charm. as Molly Wise gets it to fall, and it's back to a 10-point lead for St. Albert. They get it ahead and stolen away. Now the Saints putting some pressure on defensively. Ryan all the way in, just a little bit late, recognizing the cutter over there in Darlington. And Underwood quickly comes back into the game for the Saints. For their IMT insurance substitution. 7-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock right now for Dunkerton. Right now they just got to get it across the half court.
Yep.
And Kip's going to be tripped by Underwood. Good battle today between Kip and Underwood. In fact, Kip 6 points, 6 rebounds. Underwood 8 points, 13 rebounds. Kip has a chance to dig into this 10-point lead a little bit here with just over 30 seconds to go in the third. St. Albert on the year 22-1.
Lost to Carroll.
There we go, Carroll. That was their lone loss. I had it in my notes earlier and couldn't find it. Back down to an 8-point lead. Dunkerton with the pressure on again. Good Underwood running the offense there, just breaking the press, dribbling through, throwing it ahead. She does everything. Has it right now at the top of the key. 15 seconds to go. Down to 10. This is Coughlin with it. Kicks it back out. Quick three-point shot there from Pierce. No good, and the ball goes out of bounds. And now Dunkerton will try to get a shot off. They've got the ball to start the fourth quarter, too, so if they can get one off, time for maybe a couple dribbles. Get the shot off. Pexa gets it ahead, fueling. Lets it loose. Good if it goes. Oh, man, from our angle, that was right on. Just a little bit strong. 34-26, St. Albert in the lead as we head to the fourth quarter after this on the IGHSAU Digital Network.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
St. Albert trying to protect the 8-point lead here as we head to the fourth quarter. Dunkerton has found their offensive rhythm, though, or they've doubled their offensive output in the third quarter of what they had the entire first half.
Yeah, and I really like how the Saints, I mean, if you look up at the scoreboard, they have really well-balanced offensive contributors. But then again, you got Dunkerton. They came out at halftime, and it's a different team we're watching here.
We're able to get some turnovers, lead to some points. In fact, St. Albert had, am I doing my math right? 12 turnovers for St. Albert in that quarter. They're up to 16 turnovers for St. Albert right now. And what do they have?
Yeah, 16 turnovers for St. Albert and then 14 for Dunkerton. So again, St. Albert, they need to value the basketball and take care of the basketball.
Ryan gets it down low to the cutting Underwood. Underwood through some contact too, and Ava Underwood continues to assert her dominance. She's up to 10 points, double digits there to go along with 13 rebounds. Double-double there for Underwood, and then nearly gets a steal, and they just get the ball across the half-court line. Pexa all the way up off the glass. Good touch with a left hand for Kylie Pexa.
Kylie Pexa finally on the board again. She averages about 16 points a game, and I mean, that's her first bucket of the game.
We get the feeling it's been a lot of that comes in transition, getting steals, and they just haven't had a ton of opportunities to get those down low. Again, Underwood. And they're drawing Kip away from the basket right now. They're getting that switch that we talked about earlier. Now Underwood, going against a lot shorter players, heads to the free throw line to add to her total today.
And they have to talk about that on defense. They can't switch. Kip has to stay on Underwood, or else there's that mismatch down low.
Yeah, see, she's being defended by Wasco and Fueling down low, and she's got a 5-inch height advantage on both those players. 54% free throw shooter is Underwood, so if those averages hold true, this one will be right through the bottom of the net. It'll go down a little bit, but they do get the rebound. Ryan tried to get it to the cutter Underwood and stolen away by Fueling. Dunkerton on the run. Tissue down to the cutter down low and up off the glass. No good, but a foul on Underwood will send Fetkether to the free throw line.
That pass right there was a little bit behind Fetkether, but if that would have been like right on target, that would have been an easy layup, but luckily she still got it.
You see I'm not sure the official in Underwood had a moment there. They're both laughing about something. I always like to hear the officials mic'd up, too, to hear what's being said out there. There's a lot of good TikTok accounts for officials.
You have a TikTok account?
I got 4 daughters. Of course I have a TikTok account. I was one of the OGs of TikTok, I think. I have interrupted so many TikToks being filmed in the halls of Wells Fargo Arena this week. You can film a TikTok anywhere, I found out. There's some good stuff on TikTok. There's a lot of sports stuff. And
I like watching the videos like with the life hacks, things that I never would have thought to do, but it just makes my life so much easier. I won't go into details, but there are some real creative people out there in the world.
There's a scrum on the floor and a jump ball being called. There's can't remember the guy's name. You mean to tell me for 40 years I've been doing it this way when I could actually be doing it this way? And then he shows a hack. There's some good stuff out there. Yeah, great stuff for coaches. A lot of great material out there. TikTok and Instagram are outstanding for that.
I have to laugh. So, again, I'm an assistant coach at Spirit Lake, and I just think it's hilarious. Our head coach will sometimes go on Twitter, and he'll find a play, and he'll run it the next day, and it'll work, and he'll be like, found that on Twitter last night. It's like,
that gets done on football as well. Yeah, that's not uncommon in the slightest.
Shout out to you, Coach Rogers.
Yeah, there's very few original ideas anymore because so much stuff can be shared on social media.
Well, then you got AI. All you got to do is Google it, and there you go.
Give me a face I can make someone say about anything. Kip again for 3, couldn't get it to fall, and battle for the board, taken out of there by the Saints. 5.5 minutes to play. Underwood gets tied up by Kip, and they're going to say Kip fouled her. Kip just picked up her 3rd. Underwood, double digits right now for the day.
I think Kip was wanting that foul on the floor. She's not going to get that.
Got a little continuation there. Underwood's missed 3 in a row at the free throw line. Another IMT insurance substitution. Wasco and Fueling check back into the game. Four free throws in a row for St. Albert not going through. As a team, they shoot exactly 50% on the year. That may come into play here yet this afternoon. Three-point shot, an extra bounce kind of took the rhythm away from Fueling, but she gets a second chance at it. This time in rhythm, no good. And the battle for the board taken out of there by Monahan. They find the shooter on the corner, good for Maura Ryan. Back to a double-digit lead for the Saints.
And that was a really good transition look that they got right there.
Back in the day, it was everybody work your way to the basket in transition, and over the last 10 years, you've seen a lot more focus put on, so much better shooters out there in general anyway, and now you see players run straight to the corners.
Yeah, a lot of days you got people who are really good attackers, you got really good knockdown three-point shooters, so I get really, really impressed watching players who can score at all three levels. I say this all the time. I had a really good shot, but I wish I would have spent more time on like my pull-up jumper.
I mean, in your defense, you were what, 5'4"?
No, I'm like 5'2".
Okay, I was trying to help you out.
I think
I think the three-point shot worked out just fine for you.
It did work out just fine. And
of course, I'm talking about the state's all-time leading scorer who's here beside me right now, Ellie Ruffridge, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame on Saturday night. Well-deserved. Just got to be part of a couple state titles with your dad, right, at Pocahontas?
Yep. 2 state titles, 1 runner-up, and I say this all the time, but I wasn't able to do all those great things without the greatness of others. And sometimes the focal point was just on me, but it took a lot of people to get the job done.
Any of your teammates back this weekend?
I think some have reached out and said that they're going to come on Saturday for the Hall of Fame induction. I got a lot of family coming. Pocahontas is going to come down, my alma mater, head coach, and Spirit Lake is going to come down as well, so I got all kinds of support.
Do your players right now understand that you kind of know what you're talking about?
I think so. I think at first so this is my 3rd year at Spirit Lake, and at first they're like, who's this? And I think now they truly understand.
Of course, you went on to have a pretty fun time at Missouri State. You guys were able to be pretty successful. Still having success down there?
Yes, they are. One of my best friends and former teammates, Abby Hipp, she's actually on staff at Missouri State, so it's really fun to have that connection. And because my coaching staff when I played there, they're at Virginia now, so they left, but it's still good to represent my Lady Bears.
Anytime they're up playing UNI, Drake, get a chance to watch them play?
Yeah, not this year though, because we were playing in our regionals.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have.
Saints with the ball out of the timeout, leading by 11 as they get the ball on the far side to Molly Wise. Nice job running the break. Underwood up off the glass and in. And another steal. Underwood again. And then a turnover as Pexa tracks it down. 2-on-2. Fueling decides that maybe the 6-inch advantage for Underwood would not be a good thing to take that at.
And again, we talk about taking care of the basketball. Saints are up to 19 turnovers so far in this game.
And that style of play of Dunkerton just creating a lot of hecticness, another word I'm going to make up today during this stream. And great effort, though, falling into the bench on the far side for Fetkether into the Saints bench. 3:14 to play in this one, and if Dunkerton has to foul, they've only had 2 so far, and they have to get up to 5 to start getting some free throws. A little backdoor cut up off the glass and no good. And we've seen opportunities for both teams today, good opportunities at the hoop, just not quite able to finish. And good hustle coming back the other way there for Lexi Darrington. Knocks that one out of bounds and disrupts the flow once again. Those points have been hard to come by for Dunkerton today, and part of that is the disruptiveness of the length of St. Albert Saints. Long pass in there to Pexa. Pexa works her way in, up with the left hand and in for Kylie Pexa.
Nice little look right there, and it looked like Kip was kind of sealing her girl to give Pexa that look in the middle of the lane. Just hasn't been there for Pexa all night.
Long pass and then a little Mikan drill coming down for Darlington. She couldn't get it to fall. Dunkerton on the attack ahead to Pexa, up with a left hand and couldn't get it to fall, but she'll shoot 2.
And that was 2 layups that St. Albert missed on back-to-back possessions.
They've had those opportunities, and just being able to finish. There's a lot of players that can get to the rim, but the real elite ones can finish at the rim. And Pexa trying to dig into this lead and make it a 9-point game here with just under 2.5 minutes to go. Can't get that first free throw to fall. Dunkerton on the day, 6 of 10 from the free throw line. On the season, they shoot 52%. Pexa shoots 40% from the free throw line. Back down to a 10-point lead. St. Albert has really handled that pressure nicely here in the fourth quarter in crunch time.
I think both teams have done a decently well job with the full court pressure. I mean, you're going to have turnovers here and there, but they've been pressuring all game, and for the most part, they're getting it over half court.
Dunkerton just had an opportunity there with a stop and then threw it away. Another steal will be credited to Underwood.
And you got to think right here, St. Albert's is going to take their sweet time, getting a really great look to eat up the clock.
Yeah, Dunkerton going to have to think about starting to foul right now and extending this game over the next minute 44. Fettketter gets whistled for that one, and she just picked up her 4th. Saints, like you said, not in any rush to get the shots off right now. Underwood takes it in, and quickly they reset things. 20 seconds on the shot clock. They can take it down to just over a minute. Got the ball in the hands of Coughlin right now. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and up with a shot, no good, but Underwood will have a chance to shoot a couple more at the free throw line.
St. Albert's right there just doing a really nice job staying patient, playing keep away right there. And I mean, like you said, Dunkerton's going to have to start thinking of maybe fouling here.
Early in the possession as well. Yeah, you got to get this game extended out. You know, for a 1-8 game, it's probably been the closest 1-8 game that we have seen at this tournament so far. Dunkerton has hung right in there. Just a couple unfortunate bounces on the offensive end, but they've played tough defense. They've been able to play their style of basketball, but this afternoon so far, St. Albert just a little bit better at it. Underwood just can't find that range from 15 feet out. Coach Brad Turpin wants a timeout right now to discuss things with Dunkerton, and I know you can't yell from the bench to foul somebody on purpose because that's a technical foul, but I think everybody's kind of got a code for that right now, I assume, of what means you want to foul. But yeah, with that rule change a couple of years ago, it changed the complexity of some of the ends of the game because you've got 5 fouls to get to shooting. There's no one-on-ones in Iowa high school basketball anymore. And you can play great defense all the way through a quarter, and all of a sudden with a minute left after foul, but you've only had like one team foul or something like that. Yeah. It makes things difficult.
It's hard for me, especially going from, playing high school, going to college, coaching high school. There's just so many different rule changes. It's hard to keep up sometimes.
Yeah, we talk about that in the game of football all the time because you go from high school to college to pros, and you need 1 foot in, you need 2 feet in. How many points is that worth? What are we doing? Why are we kicking from here? Just a lot of different rule changes throughout the leagues.
Well, that's like me for wrestling. I'm a big wrestler fan, grew up in a wrestling family, and now a takedown is worth 3, but I was always so used to the crowd going 2.
Yeah, that was a big adjustment this year.
So it's just adjusting to the game.
It changed wrestling quite a bit this year. as far as the amount of tech falls that we saw happen early on in matches. A lot of high-scoring 7-point moves. As Kip nearly lost it there. She'll shoot the 3. And fouls Coughlin. And that will be 2 free throws now for Eleanor Coughlin.
Coughlin, about a 45% free throw shooter. I mean, really, if you're looking at free throw percentages for St. Albert, the best free throw shooter is Molly Wise at 66. So really, if you're Dunkerton, I'd probably be fouling anyone out there.
Chance to get back in the game right now with this. Let's see, they are, 7 for 12. Now 7 for 13 today, shooting at the free throw line. You mentioned, so you're a wrestling fan. I guess Pokey has had some good wrestlers. Followed them along. Now you got your dad as the AD at Fort Dodge, who's known for wrestling. So I guess you didn't have a choice in that.
Yeah.
50 seconds to go. Dunkerton. Again, just really tough to drive in against that defense of the Saints. Kip going to let loose a 3-point shot. Can't get it to fall. Saints push it ahead, and Coughlin will have another chance at the free throw line with 35 seconds to go. Pexa gets dinged for her second. Dunkerton fans have stayed engaged in the game the entire time. Dunkerton can get a couple extra players off the bench right now. Delaney Toneff checks into the game, as well as, let's see, Taylor Kip comes in as well. Also in the game, Elsie McIntosh. Get a couple players in, is drawing the trap right there is Kip, throwing it ahead and stolen out of there by Monahan. Monahan drives all the way down and can't get it to fall. But the rebound for St. Albert comes out of there. Ryan, and she'll be able to dribble this one out. St. Albert gonna move on. They will play Friday at 1:30 against the winner of our next game between Algona, Bishop Garrigan, and Montezuma, the Bravettes. And for the post game, let's send it down to our public address announcer.
Fans, please direct your attention to the court for the awards presentation. In addition to receiving medallions, each participating player will receive a commemorative basketball provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are Aaron Gerlich, Executive Director, and Gary Ross, Basketball Administrator. Congratulations to head coach Brad Turpin and the Raiders from Dunkerton on an outstanding basketball season. And now, Kirsten Piskorski, please advance your team to the next round on the official bracket at center court. Congratulations, Saints fans. Your team advances to the semifinals and will play the winner of Bishop Garrigan and Montezuma on Friday afternoon at 1:30.
Ellie Ruffridge, certainly a pleasure doing a game again with you. It's been a year since we've been able to do this together, so got to see a good one here tonight. Council Bluffs, congratulations to Coach Dick Wettengill and his St. Albert Saints moving on to the semifinals, Friday afternoon at 1:30 in Ellie. Congratulations to you. Now we'll forever get to call you a Hall of Famer every time I get to work with you.
Thank you. I always love working with you.
Having a great time. So, again, congratulations to St. Albert. And we got another game coming up next here in about 20 minutes. Algona, Bishop, Garrigan, and Montezuma. Thanks, everybody, for following along with us. Stay safe, stay inside. And we'll see you here next time on the IGHSAU Digital Network.